Welcome to Linda's Corner. My name is Linda Bjork. For today's episode, I will be sharing an excerpt from one of my books called You Got This, An Action Plan to Calm Fear, Anxiety, Worry, and Stress. With all the disturbing current events we're facing, people all around the world are experiencing overwhelmingly high levels of stress right now. I feel strongly about the need to help empower people to be resilient and able to handle their problems. You Got This is a thoroughly researched, easy-to-read, well-designed action plan to calm feelings of fear, anxiety, worry, and stress, with a wide variety of proven cognitive behavioral therapy techniques that empower people to regain a sense of peace and control in their lives. You Got This will show you how to decrease stressors, increase coping skills, increase confidence, increase resilience, and find solutions to your problems. The book is available in paperback and ebook formats on Amazon. Today's excerpt highlights one of the many tools shared in the book. These tools are part of the section of the book called Daily Action Steps. If we want to make positive changes in our lives, then learning new information simply isn't enough. Change requires action. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but there is no other way. However, it doesn't have to be hard, overwhelming, or take a lot of time. Rather than expecting someone to completely overhaul their lives overnight, these action steps are broken down into small, bite-sized pieces that are simple and short, so that they can be completed by real people who are living real lives. It's going to be okay. You got this. Today's tool is about answering the question, am I worthy of being loved? We're going to explore our core beliefs about self-worth and lovability. How is self-worth determined? Many of us use external factors like wealth, status, accomplishments, popularity, or other people's opinions to determine whether or not we have value and whether or not we are lovable or likable. However, the truth is that the value of a human soul is intrinsic. Intrinsic means belonging to a thing by its very nature. It comes from the Latin word intrinsicus, which means interior or inner. Some synonyms for intrinsic include inherent, innate, inborn, natural, built-in, inseparable, permanent, indelible, ineradicable, integral, and fundamental. Let me repeat. The value of a human soul is intrinsic. It comes from the inside. You have infinite worth simply because you exist. It is your birthright. It doesn't need to be earned or verified, and it is completely independent of any external factors. Deep down inside, you know that already. There are a few moments in the lifespan of a person that we reflexively respond to that knowledge. One is when a baby is born. The love that parents feel for their infant child is beyond their ability to express. Does that baby have value and worth? Oh, yes. Is that baby lovable and likable? Oh, yes. What did the baby do to earn that worth and that lovability? Absolutely nothing. They possess those qualities simply by existing. Do those qualities of worth and lovability diminish over time? No. Another moment in time when we are reminded of the intrinsic value of a human soul is when a life is taken and we mourn the loss of someone we care about. Furthermore, the laws of the land reserve the harshest punishments for those who take another person's life by force. In the courtroom, they do not examine the victim's wealth, status, accomplishments, or popularity in order to evaluate the worth of that person and determine the punishment of the offender. A life is a life, and each life has intrinsic value. Our worth and value are inborn, natural, built-in, inseparable, and permanent. We have intrinsic value. That's a fact. But just because something is true doesn't mean we believe it. Recall our discussions about the mere exposure effect, which says that we tend to believe things that we hear over and over again, simply because of that repetition and not because it is actually true. Even though we have inherent worth and lovability as our birthright, we may have been told by others or even by ourselves so many times that we're worthless or that we have to do something to earn and prove our value and lovability that we believe it. And in this case, what we believe is actually more important than what is true. Researcher Brené Brown came to a similar conclusion after her 6-year-long study on what causes shame. She wanted to know why some people enjoy love and belonging, while others are always wondering if they're good enough. She found that it all comes down to one single variable: a person's belief of whether or not they're worthy. Today's action step is to increase awareness about your perception of your lovability and self-worth by looking deeper at your core values and beliefs. Please spend about 20 to 30 minutes writing on one or more of the following prompts. 1. I have inherent value and lovability because. 2. I believe I only have worth and value if, and write whatever comes to mind. 3. I believe I am only lovable if, and write whatever comes to mind. Or, number 4, my beliefs about my value and lovability came from, and then just write whatever comes to mind and see what you learn about your core beliefs, about your value and lovability. I hope you have enjoyed this excerpt from my book, You Got This, An Action Plan to Calm Fear, Anxiety, Worry, and Stress. I feel strongly about the need to help empower people to be resilient and able to handle their problems, so I will continue sharing excerpts from the book in other episodes of Linda's Corner. In closing, I would like to share a quote from an official review from onlinebookclub.org. It says, "The new things I learned fulfilled all my expectations." See you next time on Linda's Corner.